Hello everybody, my name is Level 5, welcome to Level 5, the place where we talk about movies, TV shows, video games and comic books, and today I will be ranking every single movie I saw in the cinema in 2025. We're already, well into January, but this list was generally hard to gather. Our last spot is the only movie that I didn't enjoy watching, and the rest of the list was just really hard to put things in an order. And I honestly struggled. I know I saw less films in 2025 than I did in 2024, but I think I saw better films in 2025 than I did 2024, if that makes any form of sense. So, in this video, of course, we're going to dive in and rank every single movie that I saw in the cinema in 2025. Let's go. Before we dive into this list, of course, let me just remind everybody that this is my list, this is my ranking, this is my personal opinion, but I'd love to hear from you guys if you've watched any of these movies in 2025 or in the cinema or, in your comfort of your own home. Do let me know and let me know how you'd rank them as well. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions, and let's dive in. I do have my list noted as well. Let's dive in with our 12th spot. That being Lilo and Stitch, the live-action remake. This film infuriated me. I'm a huge Lilo and Stitch fan. Stitch is my favourite Disney character of all time. And this film just took everything that is Lilo and Stitch and set it on fire. I do not understand how this movie even got greenlit in the fucking first place. They ruined two of the biggest characters that are not Lilo and Stitch themselves. Don't get me wrong, I think Stitch was very, very well CGI'd, and I think the girl who plays Lilo did a very good job, and she's effing adorable. But Nani does not leave Lilo. I'm sorry, I do not care. Right, the whole point of Lilo and Stitch is Ohana means family. Family means no one gets left behind, and she fucking leaves her behind. And then you've got Jumba. Jumba, the evil scientist who is meant to be the character that, yes, is meant to be evil, and eventually teams up with Stitch and Lilo to collect his cousins, and then he learns the valuable friendship with Pleakley, and realizes that just because something's made to be evil doesn't mean it has to be, because a young human girl managed to turn his evil experiment of mass destruction into a cuddly fuzzball, and they turn him into an evil dictating dumbass. Rant over. This movie is last on the list because I don't like it. End of story. I'm diving into the more enjoyable part of this list. Let's go to our 11th spot. Five Nights at Freddy's 2. This movie, honestly, isn't as good as the first one. And it's this low on the list only because I'll more than likely not rewatch it compared to the other movies. I think that's why it's number 11. It's got some stiff dialogue, and there are some major adaptation differences compared to the video games. If you're a fan of the video games, you're definitely going to be either loving this movie or hating this movie, depending on what type of gamer you are and what type of person you are, and that is completely fine. I personally thought it was alright. I liked it. It was fun. There was some kind of spooky moments. It wasn't gory. It was more spooky, especially with the puppet villain kind of like crawling across the floor and shit, and the girl crawling up the wall and everything. That was kind of freaky. This film, one thing this film does really well is it does continue the storyline. The three humans do continue on, and there is a massive difference now from where we saw these characters in the first film to where we leave these characters in the second film. And honestly, I'm looking forward to the third one. I'm not gonna lie to you. So let's dive in with number 10, and that is Novocaine. Honestly, when it comes to Novocaine, I didn't have an issue with this movie at all. It's a fun time, it's a dumb idea, it's just a fun action comedy. The guy can't feel pain, so he gets to do outlandish things. It's very Deadpool-esque in that sense. You know, we get to see him put his hand to a vat of boiling oil to pull out a gun, you know, because he can't feel the pain. I like the dumb humor, and honestly, there is a plot twist in this movie that I knew there was going to be a plot twist, I just didn't see how far it would go, and yeah, it was fun. It was a nice reveal, and it was just a fun action comedy, to be honest. I do like the main actor. You can definitely see him pulling his Huey from The Boys into his acting in this movie, but that's fine too. I mean, actors can use experiences to push a role, just like we can use our natural experiences to push something in real life. But the only reason why it's this low is just because there's more memorable and better films on the list, I believe. And our 9th spot goes to how you're actually meant to make an adaptation of a animated movie, and that is How to Train Your Dragon, the live action remake. This, I wanted to hate this film so fucking bad. When I saw that trailer, I was ready to go into that cinema and fucking infuriate myself with this movie and rip it to shreds online. But it's actually really fucking good. Scene for scene, almost scene for scene, bar for bar. There are a few added things that I don't think need to be added. One of the characters had this whole thing with his dad. That was pointless. There's no need for that shit. But Toothless is adorable, they get all the plot points correct, they get everything in order, and it's a fun time, and the CGI is phenomenal. The dragons look absolutely fucking incredible. Burke looks like how Burke's meant to look. Sure, Hiccup doesn't look like Hiccup, some of the characters don't look exactly how they're meant to look, but when you get something animated in a specific style, it's not gonna look exactly the same. I can't hate this movie, and I really want to. I hate animated to live action, remakes, and this one did really well. Disney needs to take a leaf out of the people who made this movie's book, and that's how you make a live action remake. Let's dive into number 8, and that is Captain America: Brave New World, our first superhero movie out of the 4 big competitors of the year. Honestly, I don't see the issue with this film. I can see the glaring problems, choppy editing near the end when it comes to the final battle and confrontation, but I enjoyed it. I really like this film. I think it's really good. I love Sam Wilson as Captain America, and when I write my audio dramas, I always make sure I'm using Sam Wilson as Captain America. Steve's had his reign, it's now Sam's turn, and I'm really glad he got to be Captain America. Some of the action scenes in this are phenomenal. Love the fact we got a new Falcon as well. Love the appearance of Bucky. Really glad they've kept their little friendship ongoing since Steve left, especially going through Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's a nice addition, and honestly, I don't think we had a bad superhero movie in 2025 out of the 2 big, leading competitors when it comes to making superhero movies, being Marvel and DC. We had 4 superhero films, and I don't think any of them were terrible. Only reason why this is so low is just because the other superhero movies kick its ass. This is a good film. Is it like fantastically brilliant like Endgame or Infinity War or Winter Soldier or Civil War or No Way Home? Absolutely not. Is it a good film though? Yes, and I'll stand on that. I do not care. You can get over the editing, you can get over that, the choppiness of the final fight and everything. Sure, Red Hulk isn't Red Hulk, but neither's Hulk, so if you can get over those, it's a good film nevertheless. In our 7th spot is a movie that honestly took my surprise, and that's Zootopia 2. I actually really enjoyed this film. It's a really good sequel. It does a really good job taking what happened in the first film, pushing it along. It's a decent sequel, and Zootopia itself is a character. There's history and lore woven into it. It's very much like how Gotham's a character in DC and in Batman lore. It really did a good job, expressing these characters more, giving them some conflict and everything. I really like their dynamics and stuff. The new characters are a lot of fun, and I love all the hidden voice actors that are dripped in this too. It's absolutely phenomenal. Surprisingly, this film's actually really, really good. I left this film feeling very pleased with myself. In the 6th spot, honestly, another film that quite actually took me by surprise. We got Predator Badlands. I do not hate this film whatsoever. I've watched some Predator movies and I've watched some Alien movies. I've never really dove into them. I think I prefer Predator over Alien, personally, like the lore and like how they are and everything. But this film really took me by surprise and how cool it was. It's just a Predator action movie, and it doesn't do the whole, the Predator's the bad guy versus the human type dynamic anymore. It's a Predator movie. It's about a singular Predator, a singular character who has to go on an adventure, and it is really fun. Love the fight scenes, the choreography is really good, and the detail in, like, the Predator himself, his new sidekick and everything, also really cool. And I love the fact this has a connection to the Alien franchise. It's almost like they're trying to start a woven universe now, and I'm down for it. If they do an Alien movie next, or like another Predator, because it looks like this is getting a sequel, where there's more Alien and Predator stuff just nicely woven in without much like explanation, I am down for it. This film took me by surprise, and I'll happily watch it again for sure. Honestly, yeah, the last two movies really did just take me. In my fifth spot, we have our second MCU movie, that being Thunderbolts, with an asterisk on the end. I did not like the ending of this movie. I think this movie ended really poorly. Making them the Avengers, I think, is a dumb move, but I did like this film. We've kind of left the whole, let's beat the bad guy and make sure that they're dead and they never get seen again, and we're now doing a different approach, which I'm fine with. Honestly, I don't mind it. A lot of people kept complaining. I've seen a lot of people complain about how Thunderbolts and Captain America, they beat their bad guy with kindness. Yes, because we've had over, 15 years now of one-shot villains who get killed straight off the bat. And it's annoying, because Ultron, we've got Kang the Conqueror, we've got Ironmonger, we've got Red Skull, we've got, okay, maybe not Red Skull, he did come back, fair enough, but there's so many characters, Killmonger, and things like this, that appear once and then vanish, and we never see them again, and that's not comic books, so I'm fine if they go down a different approach. And honestly, I quite liked this film. I love Yelena. She's one of my favourite characters since, the Multiverse Saga got introduced. Absolutely adore her. Always been a fan of Bucky Barnes or the Winter Soldier, or whatever the fuck he's going by these days. Red Guardian's a laugh, and just seeing all these characters kind of intermingle. Absolutely love what they did with fucking Taskmaster. Taskmaster was, such a fucking good character in this movie. Sentry was really good. Bob, obviously, is quite funny. And, yeah, sure, it leads into Doomsday, but that is to be desired. But this film is a lot of fun. It's a lot of traumatic, it's all about trauma and getting over your shit. And, yeah, it's a good time. I think this film is really good, and honestly, it's a step up to some of the other things we've had when it comes to MCU, for sure. Going into our fourth spot, actually kind of going back to what I just said about Thunderbolts, I have Avatar, Fire and Ash. I adore the Avatar trilogy. Now, one thing I'm gonna take a step back here a second, and I just need to make a quote real quick. I need to make a statement here. Over the course of 2025, I've kind of come to the realization that I don't voice my opinion a lot. In the sense of, I don't stand up for myself and my opinions. I'll talk to my friends, and, they'll say something. For example, we were talking about Boruto, the sequel to Naruto Shippuden, and two people that I was gaming with said it's shit. Neither of them have really watched it, and they were bitching about this, that, and the other. I'm actually currently in the middle of Boruto, and I'm really enjoying it. And I didn't stand up for myself. And this was literally the other day. And I never say, yeah, but I like it because of this, and I never put my foot down, and I end up just agreeing with the people just to agree with them. Like, literally just before this recording, my best friend James, who I go to the cinema with, we're talking about the movies that we've seen over the last 2 years, and Venom: The Last Dance got brought up, and he said it's a terrible movie, and it's really bad, and he compared it to Craven, and I'm like, no, I disagree. I actually really enjoyed Venom: The Last Dance. I think it's a lot better than Let There Be Carnage. I think it's a good film. I think it's fun. Is it brilliant? No. Is it as good as the first one? No. It has its glaring problems, but doesn't mean I can't enjoy it. So when it comes to Avatar Fire and Ash, I'm going to do exactly that. I really enjoyed this movie. Is it long? Yes, but so is the first two Avatar films. Is there a little bit of a glaring issue? Yeah, maybe. But one thing that I really adore about this movie is just the continuation of everyone's storylines. Yes, there's a lot of Ways of Water scenario because it's literally meant to be the second movie. The second and third movie were one script once upon a time, and James Cameron had it split into two. Hence why there's a lot of Ways of Water stuff in there. But it makes sense as well to keep the Ways of Water stuff in there anyway, because the whole point of this is world building. It wouldn't make sense just to jump out again and go, hey, let's go somewhere else. When it comes to the bad guys, this new clan, the Ash people, they link with the humans, and they get guns, and they get weapons, they get explosives, and a lot of people have an issue with that. But one thing I have to remind people is the only difference between human and animals is the fact that we created fire, and fire itself is the reason why we have technology. We wouldn't have technology if it wasn't for the idea of fire in itself. And the very first stems of the little seed that we planted when it comes to technology comes from fire itself. So that's why the Ash people are a symbol of that. It's no different to us how, when we humans discovered fire. I really like the main bad guy, and the issue with everyone, saying, oh, they should have just killed him off already. Why? Why do we have to kill him off already? That's what the MCU does. And that's what I meant by it's the same as Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts and Captain America didn't beat their bad guys, they kind of sorted them out instead. And sure, we've had the same villain now in all three movies, but what would you rather? Them just to keep making one-shot villains and never see them again? At least this character's actually got solid development. He got his ass handed to him in the second film, kinda, and his son kinda saved his life. And this movie, his son was ready to fucking pop his ass. There's character development in all rounds, and we're seeing him fuck up, we're seeing him make advances, we're seeing him winning, and we're seeing him be a character with actual development, and I'm here for it. I'm just saying. Fire and Ash is a good film. Bit too long? Yeah, sure, maybe they could have dumbed it down just a little bit when it comes to the length, I'll give you that one. But I love the action, I adore the characters, love the world that's here, and there's so many moments where I'm like, yep, this is the third act. Yep, this is the third act. Oh my god, this is the third fucking act. And it wasn't, but it was that good. It made me kept thinking the film was about to end because it was that good. Only the third act could be that good. Anyway, enough of the ranting, let's dive into my third spot, and that is Fantastic Four: First Steps. The MCU was solid this year when it comes to movies. I do not care what anyone says. And Fantastic Four was a very, very pleasant cherry on top. One thing I love about this movie as well is anyone could watch it and not have to watch the MCU beforehand. My fiance came with us watching this and she's not up to date on the MCU yet. She's now somewhere along phase 4. So she's not even in the correct phase to even watch Fantastic Four, but she managed to watch this anyway. This film did a really good of giving us a new world, exploring it, and we have our Fantastic Four members, and I believe all 4 of them was really well done. Well, 5 if you count Franklin. Galactus was phenomenal. What a cool looking character. They actually did Galactus correctly, looking at you, Rise of Silver Surfer, with your cloud. But yes, Fantastic Four: First Steps is a really nice addition to the MCU, and honestly, one of the best MCU films we've had since Endgame. What a fantastic cast. I was really skeptical about the cast. I was really scared, but Mr. Fantastic is smart. The Thing is, confined in his own fear of what people will think of him. The Human Torch is a cocky little prick, and Sue Storm is the mother of the team, and that's exactly how this film is. It's a really fun time, and I'm really glad we finally have a decent Fantastic Four film, but not only that, we're going to see them again, and we're going to see them meet and bond with other characters, and I'm generally looking forward to it. Which means in my second spot, I have Superman. Sorry, MCU, I'm a massive DC fan as well. I despise despise Henry Cavill as Superman. That is not Superman. That is a boy playing dress up. I hate the Snyderverse with every fibre of my being. There's only some films I will deem okay, and that is fucking it. Superman, played by David Cornsweet, is an absolute fucking phenomenon. And I love Superman. Something else I don't ever talk about is some of my major passions, Superman being one of them. I adore this character from the comic books, TV shows, animated stuff, Lego games, Injustice games, all different types of Superman. I love them, and this Superman is phenomenal. He looks great in costume. He did a really good Clark Kent. He's barely Clark Kent, and that's one thing I love about this film. It's not Clark Kent. He is Superman. I was skeptical about this Lex Luthor, but it turns out I didn't need to be. This Lex Luthor is perfect. That scene where Superman says, "No, Lex, you have it wrong. I'm more human than you." Woo! That little rant he goes on. Hell fucking yeah, let's go. And this film just lets you have all the information without explaining anything. There's a team of superheroes flying around. Lex has an interdimensional dimension to himself. You know, Superman has a dog. Shut up and deal with it. And that's one thing I can't wait for Supergirl, is that's going to have the same attitude, and I'm very much looking forward to that. And yeah, Superman tops the cake out of all four of this major, competitive Marvel and DC superhero movies. Superman chops it for me. Absolutely adore this film. Do not care. Now, if you look at the title, I've said that I'm ranking all 13 movies, but I started with the 12th spot. And that's because, and this is the biggest reason why this list took me so long to make, I could not put these two films in any order. These two films left me shocked, gobsmacked, heart-wrenched, emotional, and it left me thinking. And since watching Fire and Ash at the end of December, I've started making my list. I could not put one of these two in front of the other. At all. And I couldn't bear having Superman in third place. Superman had to be second. So in first place, I have two entries. They're tied. First off, this is my YouTube channel, my YouTube video, and sure, I can do what I want. But honestly, I'm stuck on which one I want to put first. I'm putting both of them in first. So my first place goes to Sinners and The Long Walk. Let's start off with Sinners. Yes, the gore looks absolutely diabolically trash, and it looks like something that came out of a 1990s fucking $10 budget movie. But take away the budget on the gore. This film is brilliant. This film is absolutely gorgeous. The fact that you have two Michael B. Jordans on screen and it doesn't look like, they've edited it in or whatever, is really good. I'll give them props to that. That's mostly where all their money went in. The story of this movie doesn't even kick in until the first hour in. You have so much time learning these characters, building a template of how these characters work and their dynamics and things. And then things kick off. And the second we meet the bad guy, who I know as Cook from Skins, seeing him as a bad guy is really cool. When he arrives on screen, everything goes to shit. And fuck me, is it good. This film is about vampire-esque like characters falling for blues music. And the way it ends isn't happy. There's no happy ending in this movie. But the way it ends really gets you thinking. It's really fucked up. Really good. And it really makes you question. That's exactly what I wanted from a movie, and this movie really took me by surprise. Then you have The Long Walk. A book by Stephen King adapted into a movie. Apparently doesn't end the same. But honestly, I don't want to know the way the book ends, because this movie was emotional. I teared up near the end. I really did. This film, 50 states, pick one person, one man, young boy, older teen. How old are they? They're like early adulthood, right? And they just have to walk. And the winner gets one wish, and their family gets sorted, for life and shit. This movie really proves it's not about the destination, it's about the journey you go on. These characters are great, and the best thing is, take away the first 3 or 4 minutes where you do meet, the main character's mum, and he says goodbye. Take away that. They're walking the entire movie. Now, obviously, it wasn't shot like that, clearly. That's immoral to human beings. But it's all about them walking. You see the characters laugh, cry, literally shit, get their heads blown off because if they stop, they get shot. You learn about each character. And holy fuck, is this film good. Whoever played the black guy with the scar across his face, oh my god, what a fucking performance that man did. I think I actually preferred his performance over the main characters, but still. This film both films really affected me in a really strange way that I wasn't expecting when I walked in. And I'm really glad I went to go watch them with my buddy James, and we both have said that those films are top tier. And that's why both films are in my first place. I found it really hard putting one over the other because they both did the same thing when it comes to my cinema experience. It made me question, it made me think, it made me emotional, made my jaw drop, made me happy at the same time that I went to go watch it. And that's what going to the cinema is all about, I guess. It wasn't superheroes. Yeah, okay, there's some supernatural-esque elements to Sinners, sure, but it's not what I usually watch, if you will. And there you go. That's every single movie I watched in the cinema in 2025 ranked. The only movie I didn't include here is SpongeBob. I did go see the newest SpongeBob film in the cinema with my son, but I've kept that as a little thing for me. I didn't want to make that a whole YouTube thing. That's just a little memory for me and my son, so I kept that away. But all 13 films ranked. Let me know how you'd rank these films. I'm very curious. Thank you, of course, for watching this movie. Movie? Mom! I'm a movie star! No, I joke, I kid. Thank you very much for watching this video. Do, of course, hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell if you guys haven't already. And, of course, if you guys haven't checked out the Alice Cinema Experience videos, I have made each one that goes when I go, comes out after I go see the movie. I'll make sure that I've left it up here somewhere along the video. It would have been in the beginning. I would have put that there somewhere. And I'll make sure you guys can check the playlist. And every time I go to the cinema, more or less, I'll make a video about my non-spoiler review thoughts of the movie, and you guys can check them out. Some of them are actually really popular on the channel. And, of course, I love you all. We're off passion, everybody, and I shall see you guys in the next one.